What's crack-a-lack? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So, this is my 2020 NFL mock draft, a 7-round mock draft. It's ludicrous, it's crazy. I've put in a lot of work. I haven't seen my wife in like 3 weeks. I think she might have left me. It'll be okay. But, it'll be worth it. Please say it'll be worth it. But like I said, I put in a lot of work, and this is really just so we could get familiar with some of the names that might be eligible for this draft. Now, I went ahead and I projected the rest of the NFL season, so because part of this is kind of knowing how a team finishes, so you can kind of figure out what they might need. So I went ahead and did that. If you don't like where your team finished, my bad. Alright, that's on me. But going through this, I did picks based on best player available, team need, or a good team fit. So if one of your favorite prospects isn't in this draft, this is only first round, go ahead, check out my video on day 2 and day 3. I'll have that in like the little eye thing, or you can wait till the end of the video and click on that, or you could become a bro and subscribe. And you can go on my page and check out those videos there. I do a lot of content there, but go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. So let's go ahead, let's get started. And with the first pick in the NFL draft, I have the Miami Dolphins taking Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback at Alabama. I think this makes sense right now. Tua, I mean, honestly, there's a guy on his heels by the name of Joe, and woo! And I don't think a lot of the NFL might be as high on Tua as some people are, but right now this makes sense. The Dolphins are picking number 1. They go ahead, they get their franchise quarterback. They got a bevy of picks to kind of fill in parts in their roster to make sure there's talent around him. So yeah, good pick there. Number 2, the Washington Redskins. They're gonna select Chase Young at Ohio State. I mean, this is a no-brainer for me, because I think Chase Young's the best player in this draft. I think he's a generational talent. I mean, this is kind of on the level of like an Aaron Donald-like talent, at least from my perspective. I think Chase Young is that good. He wins over 30% of his pass rush snaps. That's wild. It's a ludicrous number, and I get it. You have Kerrigan. You just drafted Sweat. But Kerrigan, honestly, they can cut him after this season for only like $3 million in dead cap, and he's only signed through the 2020 NFL season. So why not go ahead and get a beast of a player who is going to help your team immediately. At number 3, the Cincinnati Bengals, they select Joe Burrow, quarterback at LSU. This is a guy I was talking about on Tua's heels. He might be the best player or the best quarterback in this draft when it's all said and done, if he keeps up this just crazy, ridiculous level of play he's got going right now. I think he's a good fit for that Sean McVay esque offense that Zach Taylor has, and it's a no-brainer. The Bengals, they're picking this high. Move on from Andy Dalton. He's run his course. And at number 4, I got the New York Giants taking Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle out of Iowa. Another one, this was kind of tough because it's like, oh man, they really need a receiver, but they need to protect Joe Burrow. Nate Soldier, he's been a bust. He's kind of been a bust. So go ahead and get him an elite protector there on the edge. And Tristan Wirfs is that there's 3 offensive tackles right now. They're kind of neck and neck. I went with Wirfs. He's super athletic. He was a former wrestler. I think this is just a solid pick. And you know what? This is a very loaded class when it comes to receivers. You can pick one in the following rounds. And with the 5th pick, the Tennessee Titans select Justin Herbert, quarterback out of Oregon. For me, this is a bit high to be taking Herbert. While he's got a amazing NFL-ready arm, his decision-making has just been not great. It's been bad. But he has all the tools to succeed. The Titans, they're already moving on from Mariota. When Ryan Tannehill is your quarterback, I'm a Dolphins fan. Testify. When Ryan Tannehill is your quarterback, you need to draft a new quarterback, and that's what they're going to do here. And the Miami Dolphins, with the Steelers pick, they go ahead and they take Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver at Alabama. Go ahead and get Tua, his guy. Jeudy, it just makes too much sense. There's not, I mean, the Dolphins, you can go anywhere with their picks. They don't have a lot of talent on the roster. That's the whole point of their tank job. But they get Judy here, and you got a really, really nice combo there with Tua and Judy. And with the 7th pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jeffrey Okudah, quarterback out of Ohio State. And you might be like, what? They've invested so much in the draft on corner. Well, their secondary still isn't that great. I think it would be reach here to draft a quarterback. Go to the day 2 video. Maybe they draft a quarterback. But I think it's just too early for Eason or Fran. So they go ahead and they address the secondary. And this guy is right up there. He is so good. He's been my biggest question for him coming into this year. Can he be a better playmaker? Can he actually? Because he's really good. He's really good at forcing incomplete passes. The thing was, I wanted to see some of those incompletions turn into interceptions, and he's done just that. Good pick for the Bucs. And with the 8th pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle out of Georgia. This is a no-brainer. They need help along the offensive line, and Andrew Thomas is that. He is another athletic tackle. He's been playing really, really well. Doesn't see a lot of pass sets in that Georgia offense, but when he can be a pass protector. That's something he was going to probably have to develop into, but it's not like he's bad at that. He's not. And with the 9th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Isaiah Simmons, linebacker out of Clemson. And you are probably like, well, they just gave away Jalen Ramsey. What about a corner? This is a pretty good corner class, so just wait. Day 2. And actually, they have a 2nd pick. But Isaiah Simmons, he's in I think he's 7th right now on my big board, and you just lost Telvin Smith. You don't know if he's going to be coming back. He says he will next year, but you don't know. The linebacker core has kind of struggled. Miles Jack's been asked to do a whole lot, so go ahead and get a guy who honestly you could even throw back at safety, because that was where he was playing there at Clemson. So a good pick for the Jaguars. And with the 10th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Grant Delpit, safety at LSU. The secondary is terrible. This makes all the sense in the world. Grant Delpit is really good. He's not a great tackler, but he does everything else phenomenally. He's just a playmaker in general, and that's what that secondary needs. It needs a playmaker. And with the 11th pick, the Los Angeles Chargers select Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle at Alabama. This guy is right in the run-in with Wirfs and Thomas. He is so good. He's been so good at Alabama. I talked about in my other mock draft way back. I love this guy's versatility. This is his first year playing at left tackle, and oh geez, man, he's great. And it's no secret, the Chargers, they need to protect Phillip Rivers. I mean, Phillip Rivers, he gets a lot of slack for some of his decision making, but a lot of that is because he's been under pressure so much. So go ahead and get tackle that matters. And with the 12th pick, the Denver Broncos select CeeDee Lamb, receiver out of Oklahoma. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders, he's not long for this team. He will be gone after this season, no doubt. So get Cortland Sutton, another guy to go up there with them. I love CeeDee Lamb. He's a great combination of size and speed, and he's just been a playmaker this whole year. I had questions about that, about him being a playmaker going into the year, and he's quelled a lot of that. He's actually on Judy's heels. With the 13th pick, the Buffalo Bills select AJ Epinesa, edge out of Iowa. Epinesa hasn't really played that great. He hasn't played bad. He hasn't got after the passer like I hope he would, but the dude is a mammoth, and he's got all the tools. And really, the Bills, their roster's kind of the way the roster's positioned, they could take the best player available. And right now, that's Epinesa. I mean, Jerry Hughes is getting a little long in the tooth. So go ahead and just keep improving that already stellar defense. With the 14th pick, the Carolina Panthers select Christian Fulton, cornerback out of LSU. This guy, he could be a top 10 talent. I don't think he's on the level of Okudah, but he is a smooth athlete. He was victimized a little bit in that Texas game, but he was dealing with an ankle injury. So you got to take all these variables into account. The guy's really good. Bradbury for the Panthers, he's on the final year of his contract, but even then you could never have enough good corners, especially when you have to face Matt Ryan and Drew Brees twice a year. Oh, and Jameis Winston. Lol. With the 15th pick, the Oakland Raiders select Henry Ruggs III, wide receiver out of Alabama. This is just a perfect fit. This is a match made in heaven. They're gonna love Ruggs' speed. He's really good. I think he's tailor-made for this type of for a Gruden type of offense, and they need a receiver. They thought they had Antonio Brown. Bye, AB. He's not there anymore. So come in and bring another guy that's not, Darren Waller or Tyrell Williams. Because Tyrell Williams, as good as he's been this year, he's not a true number one. So get a guy that has that potential to be a true number one receiver. And I don't think they're going to give up on Derek Carr just yet. But I have a pick later, not in this video, but I think it's in my day 3, that gives Carr a little competition. With the 16th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Trayvon Diggs, cornerback out of Alabama. This guy, he was on my hyped prospects list, and it was just because people were giving him all this hype, and he'd only played 6 games. But let's buy into the hype now. The hype is real. The dude's super athletic. He's got great technique. He's super quick. He's a good baller, and I think if they're not going to sign Byron Jones, which kind of seems like what's going to happen, Diggs is a good guy to come in and take his spot. And with the 17th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Marvin Wilson, defensive interior out of Florida State. I don't think they're going to go quarterback just yet. Yet Kirk Cousins, final year of his contract, this team kind of has a Super Bowl window, so I think they're going to try to put, unless Cousins just completely bombs the rest of the year, but he's looked good the last 2 games. But I think this team's going to try to put talent around him and around the team in general to try to get that Super Bowl. Marvin Wilson's been excellent this year. There's 3 really good actually, honestly, this defensive interior line we thought wasn't going to be that great at the beginning of the year, and it's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. This draft is going to be a really good draft, and Marvin Wilson is an excellent pick. With the 18th pick, the Detroit Lions select Curtis Weaver, Boise State edge rusher, and you might be like, well, that's a weird pick. They kind of already invested a lot in their front, their defensive line, but I think this guy is perfect for that defense because he's not comparable to Trey Flowers, but he's very similar in the aspect that he can rush from the edge or he can kick him inside. He's very versatile. He's been stellar this year for Boise State, and I think this is just a really good pickup for Detroit. And with the 19th pick, the New York Jets select C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. Man, honestly, the corners suck for the Jets. Poole, he's done a really good job in the slot. But the outside, man, they can't cover worth crap. Tremaine Johnson, disgusting. I can't wait till they get rid of his contract. But Henderson here, he's a quality talent. He's been in all of my mock drafts. He is really good. He should go in the first round, hands down. It's a very good corner class. Everyone talks about how great the wide receiver class is. It's a good corner class as well. CJ Henderson epitomizes that. And with the 20th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars, this is the Rams pick, and they select Netane Moody, offensive interior out of Fresno State. This guy is amazing. He is a baller. He is a baller. And you know what? Still no corner, I know. But like I said, it's a deep corner class. They go with the best offensive line prospect available. That's Moody. Because Andrew Norwell, man, he has not played that well this year. And guess what? Just bring a guy that could even play on the other side. Just get that offensive line some help. It's been decent this year, but you can make that offensive line great with this pick. And with the 21st pick, the Indianapolis Colts select Javon Kinlaw, defensive interior out of South Carolina, baby. Woo! Man, Gamecocks. Gotta love the Gamecocks. But this guy, he's a little raw, but the tools are all there. He had a great game against Alabama, which was a good test for him, and I think he's probably the most dynamic pass rusher from the interior in this draft. And the Colts, they could go anywhere with their picks. I think getting something in the interior, the quality pick. And with the 22nd pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Ashton Davis, safety out of Cal. I know the defense has been great there. The secondary surprisingly has been really good for San Fran, but they can add the safety. You could add a couple players at safety. And Davis, he's not a great tackler, but the guy's a playmaker. He's special. He's a ball hawk. He's got extraordinary speed. He can close in on passes like nobody's business. You throw this guy in the secondary, oh man, beautiful. And it's just a good pick, man. And with the 23rd pick, the Miami Dolphins, this is Houston's pick. They select Julian Okwara, edge out of Notre Dame. Man, they just take the best player available. Okwara, I'm surprised he's available at this pick. I kind of expressed this in the offseason that he could have a Josh Allen-esque rise, and he kind of has. Not completely. He's not going to be like a top 5 pick, but he's had a really, really good year. He's a great pass rush for a team that has virtually no pass rush. With the 24th pick, the Oakland Raiders, this is Chicago's pick, select Derek Brown, defensive interior out of Auburn. This Brown, he's right up there with Wilson. He's right up there with Kinlaw. My biggest question, he was on my overhyped prospects list, was can he rush the passer? And he's been doing that. He didn't do it earlier in the year, but these last couple of games, he's really come into his own. And this was starting the SEC schedule. So I'm very impressed. Honestly, Brown could be the first interior defensive lineman taken, but he comes to the Raiders, which I think Mike Mayock would have a fit. That's the cleanest way I'm going to put it. And with the 25th pick, the Cleveland Browns select Samuel Cosmi, offensive tackle out of Texas. No brainer. Baker Mayfield needs some protection. The guys on the outside aren't doing it. When Greg Robinson's one of your top tackles, that's a problem. This guy, he's super athletic. Man, just a couple of weeks ago, he caught a pass for a touchdown. My gosh, my goodness, jeez Louise. But I really like Cosmi. I think he's that borderline first, second round player. So I have him going to the Browns, who need the help on the line. And with the 26th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Bryce Hall, cornerback out of Virginia. I don't think a lot of NFL teams are high on Hall, and they really should be. This guy is very good. Very, very, very good. He could have been the top corner taken in last year's draft, but he decided to stay around for his senior year. I don't know why, but decided to do it. Unfortunately, his year came to an end. He had an ankle injury, so we won't see him for the remainder of the year. But this guy, he is a perfect fit for Jim Schwartz's cover 3. I love the pick. There's no secret. It's no secret. No. Everyone knows that secondary needs some help. They get it with this pick. And at the 27th pick already, and it's the Green Bay Packers, and they're selecting T. Higgins, wide receiver out of Clemson. This guy, he's just an Aaron Rodgers type of guy. Big bodied, he's got speed. They need help at receiver. We've seen that when with Devontae Adams going down. They've struggled to really find any consistency at the receiver position. They're really shuffling guys in there and out, and it doesn't look like MVS is it. Geronimo Allison ain't it. Maybe Alan Lazard. Maybe he's it. I don't think so, though. This guy is a good pick to help Aaron Rodgers out there. And with the 28th pick, Baltimore Ravens select Carlos Basham, edge rusher out of Wake Forest. Surprise, surprise. This guy, Man, this guy came out of nowhere. Originally, I was hoping Curtis Weaver was going to be around for this pick, because he's a Baltimore Raven. You know, it's just a good fit. Basham, Weaver and Basham, they have some similarities as far as Basham could kick it inside if they want him to. I like that. I like it. I kind of see Zadarius Smith-esque in his play. So a good pick for a pass rush that has been terrible. And with the 29th pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Alton Robinson, edge rusher out of Syracuse. You might say they need a corner. What about a running back? I say that defensive line has been terrible. With Chris Jones out of the lineup, there's no pass rush. I mean, I think this past Thursday, well, that game against Denver, that was an enigma. That was a flyer. That's not the constant, like, Chief defensive line. Like, you're not going to see that play typically. So they go ahead and they get a guy who can rush the passer. I like Frank Clark. He's a better run defender than he is a passer or a pass rusher, and he's not that great of a pass rusher. So get a guy on the other side that really can can pressure the passer, and maybe get a little time for Frank Clark to get back there. Now, Robinson's had some off-field issues, but that was a couple of years ago, so it's the past, man. It's the past. I ain't worried about it. With the 30th pick, the New Orleans Saints select Jacob Eason, quarterback out of Washington. Man, Drew Brees, he's 40. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater will be the guy. So, yeah, they go ahead and get their guy. Eason has a great arm. He has an NFL arm. He's very similar to Herbert in that aspect, but his decision-making could get a little bit better. But this is a good pick. He could come in and sit behind Drew Brees for a couple of seasons. I love this pick. And with the 31st pick, the Seattle Seahawks select Lucas Niane, offensive tackle at TCU. I think this is a bit high for Niane, but he's a really good pass blocker. They really need some help on the offensive line. I remember watching just the Rams unload on that. And you know what? As great as a quarterback Russell Wilson is, he deserves a gift. He deserves some protection. Get him protection here. Niane, he's been kind of protected by the system there at TCU, but he's super athletic, and he looks like he is the real deal as a pass blocker. He might need a little time to develop. Like, what was his name? Tyrus Howard, the Houston Texans selected last year in the first round. He might need a little time. I don't think he needs that much time, but I like this guy for this pick. And with the 32nd pick, the New England Patriots select Tyler Badaz, offensive interior out of Wisconsin. Who knows what the Patriots are going to do? I don't. It's really, they can go wherever they want, and it kind of seems like that's how they draft. So I have them selecting the best available, or yeah, basically the best player available that's not a wide receiver. And the offensive line, it's kind of been banged up, so get a guy that just gets some depth. And this is a great guy to have as depth. You know, he's probably the best center in college football right now. This year is probably more of a down year for him, but it's still been elite. So I like the pick. But that's it for the video. Go ahead and become a bro and subscribe. I got day 2, day 3. Those videos are out right now, so check them out if you want to see how your team drafted. But as always, you be easy, my friends. Later.